Hello everybody, it is Brian for GadgetUnit.com, and in this video I'll be giving you another classic gameplay video, or at least in my opinion this game is a bit of a classic. And the game I'll be taking a look at is called Destruction Derby 2. This game was originally released towards the end of October in 1996 for the PlayStation 1, and it was also released for the PC. So obviously this is a destruction derby game, so you will be driving a car. And I played this game quite a bit back in the day. To me it was really fun. The wrecking part of it was really nice. And it was sort of the first of its kind back in the day to have full 3D graphics, or at least the first version of the game was 3D graphics for this type of game. It had damage to the car models. So I don't think I've ever actually watched the introduction video all the way through, so here it is right here. Obviously they're stock cars, you know, sort of resembling NASCAR cars back in the day. So it's definitely not a recent game by any means. So 1996, that's, you know, 17 years ago, almost 17 years ago. A couple months from now would be that. So that's it with the introduction video. That was my first time ever watching that all the way through, and it was, you know, pretty short. So it looks like we have a couple of graphics issues on the loading screens. Well, you kind of saw it right there towards the end of it. So let's go into... So the game has three modes: Destruction Derby, Stock Car, and Wrecking Racing. I'm going to do Wrecking Racing because what this is basically you're racing around the track within a certain number of laps, and you have to wreck the other cars, or at least run into them to get points. As you saw in the menu, there is a multiplayer option, but it's a little bit weird in this game where it will it's not like a split screen mode where you can play two players at the same exact time. Actually, it looks like the loading screen is working fine. So multiplayer, I think that the first player goes through a race first, and then the second person goes through it, and then you basically just compare your points towards the end of it. So I started first. There are a total of 20 cars here, so I'm just gonna go around the track a couple of times normally. There are a total of 10 laps here. Typically what I would do when I was playing this back in the day would be to go around maybe 2 or 3 laps. In terms of the racing part, it's really easy. It's not difficult. You could always win each race. But what I would usually do is just go around for a couple of laps, and then I'll start going backwards to start collecting the race points that you can see in the upper left. So I just went around 3 laps. You could hear the commentators say I'm way out in front, even though they were kind of right behind me. So after that bit of wrecking, I only just gained 25 points, so we're gonna have to go backwards again. Now when you run into the cars, it's you usually get the most points when you hit the people in the top 3 in position. So you can see right there that the second place person T-boned me, and it gave me 50 points. I don't remember what the average that the other people get per race, the computer players. I think that they get a couple hundred points usually, maybe 150. So I missed the first place guy again, but I got the second place car and it gave me 25 points. Let's just pull out in front of people here, assuming somebody would actually hit me. So I just got 10 more points doing something. Let's try and get the first place person this time. Got the second place person again. And let's see, got 50 points that time, and somebody is at the front door. So let me go ahead and see what that is real quick. I'll be right back. And I'm back. I currently have 160 points, so let's try and... Oh, that was pretty good timing. So that was the first place person. That got me 10 points. I just got 25 more points, and ooh, I just got a bunch right there. So in the bottom right, you can see sort of a damage indicator. There are 6 different points of contact on your car that can be damaged. So you can see that the left portion of my car is pretty badly damaged. It's red and it is blinking. So we can actually go into the pit lane here. The automatic driving part will come on. So you just sort of spin around to all different sides, and hitting the X button, it will allow you to repair those. The thing though is that you can only use the pit lane once per race, so if you go through it again, you're not going to get the option to repair your car. It's just going to drive you through pit lane without letting you do anything. So that guy just messed up there. And here we go. I was going too fast and hit the wall. So what I'm going to do now is just run into as many cars as possible. Once I get damaged to the fullest, my radiator is going to blow, and that will be the end of the race. So I just hit the first place car, second and third place. I'm up to 275 points. If you get flipped upside down, if you don't get flipped back over by somebody else, like I just did, it will go ahead and reset your car for you automatically. That was weird how second place was ahead of first place, but it's, you know, an old game, so what can you expect? So I actually just took that guy out, because if you saw, after I hit him, the smoke from his car turned black, which means his radiator was blowing, so his day was done. So my day is done now. I earned 300 points, and let's see how I did against everybody else. So the top 3 usually get about in the 250 to 265 point range, as you can see there. I got 300, so obviously I was at the top of the list. So there are 4 different divisions, or 4 different seasons. So after you go through an entire season, you start at Division 4, then you move up to Division 3, and then 2, and then 1. So it could definitely take a while to go through everything, but there are plenty of tracks for you to unlock and different things like that. So let's go ahead and do a couple more races. Chalk Canyon was one of my favorites. I don't know why. I just enjoyed this one. Okay, I remember why, and I'll actually show you why once we get down into this area up ahead. You do have 2 camera views that I just showed. You have the bumper cam and then just a regular outside camera. Now this part up here, it gets really narrow, so if you wanted to, you can cause a huge traffic jam right here. I'm already up to 25 points. I'm actually going to stay right here and wait for all of the other guys to come up here as well, and then you'll be able to maybe see that everybody gets stuck here. So up to 25 points. I'm just waiting for the rest of the field to come back around to finish their first lap. Not sure why I'm going through these cars, but most of them... Okay, here comes the first place guy, and we have a huge pile up here. This is exactly what I was going to. So this is why I like this track a lot, because you can do this. The problem though is that when you try to actually finish a lap, it's gonna take a while to go through all those cars, because you will be able to go through them. As you saw, I was able to just drive right through a couple of the cars, so that's what you would be able to do, but it just takes a while for you to actually move through them all. So right now I have 25 points, and sometimes if there's a pile up there, it can actually fix itself after you get around to the following lap. And typically I go slow down that hill, but that's not what happened there. So the pit lane is here to the right. It's a little hard to get into. First lap is finished. Let's see if everybody else is just stuck over here in the pile. Looks like most people are. And I'm pretty much almost finished with this because my radiator's blowing. So what I'm going to try and do, and hopefully nobody comes around and hits me down the front stretch here, I'm going to go ahead and go into pit lane to get my radiator fixed, and then I'll just slam into that pile a couple more times, and that would pretty much be it. So here we go. Just need to focus on the front part of the car. Like that. And here we go. So I think that there were 20 cars at the beginning of this, and there are only 15 left, so one of the ways cars can sort of get eliminated is if their radiator is blown, because you can't really do anything after that, or if they're flipped upside down. So I'm going to try and get through this It's not going to be easy because you just have to hold the X button and eventually you'll go through the cars. I'm actually going to back up and just slam through everybody a couple of times, just to get some more points in for my radiator glow so we could move on to the next one. Didn't look like that gave me any points at all, so I'm just going to go ahead and run into the wall and wait for my radiator glow right there. So that's it with the second race, and I'm going to see what the next one is because I really want to show you guys a destruction derby. Those are pretty fun, and as you could probably tell, those are just standard destruction derbies in a arena. So we have Caprio County Raceway. This is just a normal racetrack as well. I'm gonna go ahead and try and skip this one. I think that did it. The pause menu didn't show up, unfortunately. Alright, so we skipped that one, and now we have the SCA Motorplex. So this was my second favorite track because of the way it's laid out and things. It's a pretty fast track. Let's try and skip this one again, and it looks like it worked. So let's go ahead and go to Pike Arena. So this is the first Destruction Derby arena. It's sort of like a Coliseum sort of thing. I always went on this pile. Every single time I did this one, I just went up that hill. You fly up in the air, obviously. Getting damaged already, so I'm going to start going backwards. And the AI, they're pretty smart, because after a while, they'll start going backwards too, because their front end will be damaged pretty heavily, so they'll just start going backwards and running into people that way. So that was pretty smart on the developer's part to do that. It's a little bit harder to control when you're going backwards. So let's just go ahead and hurry up and finish this. I'm going to start going forwards so I can start collecting more points. Up to 70 so far. Looks like I'm almost done here. I'm going to start going backwards, actually. Let's go ahead and finish this and go forward. Okay, I just kind of went through a car there. I thought that would have been the end of it. Just got 25 more points for something. Ten more right there. Whoa. I don't know how that didn't kill me, but it didn't. Many areas in my damage thing at the bottom right are red. And that's it. So it looks like I've gotten 115 points, and that's it. Let's see how I placed against everybody else. I think I finished in the top 10. Yep, top 10, 115 points. The max was 300 there. And it looks like I was promoted to the next league, or the next season rather, so I went from Division 4 to Division 3. So that's it with this video. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback about this or anything else, feel free to leave those down below in the comments area. But that is it with this video. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Let me just go ahead and go back to the main menu real quick. Right here. So again, if you have any comments, questions, or feedback about this or anything else, feel free to leave those down below in the comments area. But that's it with this video.